Ontario and other parts of Canada now facing ever tighter restrictions. And I hate to break it to you, but these restrictions you're living under are not about targeting the places where coronavirus spreads. They're not. Well, what are they for then? They're for giving you fewer and fewer opportunities and reasons to want to leave your home. They're about keeping you in your house regardless of what reason you were going to have to leave the home and regardless of whether that activity would have had anything to do with spreading the virus. Well, how can that be? What do I mean by that? How do I know that? Because more and more we're seeing health officials speak openly about mobility data, mobility thresholds. The latest Ontario Science Table report that was released on Friday talks about mobility data quite a lot. This is what they're fixated on. They are not coming up with these different charts and graphs talking about this location or that location and we've isolated and identified spread going on here and there. No, they're just talking about mobility data. So they go to the Google mobility data website and they look at how mobility has changed based on anonymized cell phone data to get a sense of whether or not people are seen to be leaving the house more or less compared to what they were doing a month or two or a year ago. And they compare all of that and they go, people are leaving their houses more, then we have to give them fewer opportunities to leave their home. And then hopefully that we'll see that we have a reduce in coronavirus cases and a reduce in hospitalizations and ICUs. Well, a bit of a problem there, though, because it's pretty clear by now for so many people that a large part of the problem is acutely felt right now in warehousing, manufacturing facilities in Ontario, in Peel region. They have a lot of outbreaks in those areas. Those are essential services. So the mobility data associated with people who participate in those essential services, well, that's going to stay up. And all you're doing by shutting down Ontario parks from camping, that's something that, if you can believe it, has been brought into effect, well, you're just stopping people from leaving their home for a low-risk activity. And this has actually been an approach for quite a while now, this idea that these broad-based restrictions that ensnare low-risk persons doing low-risk activities, well, we bring in these restrictions and we try and kid ourselves that somehow that's going to reduce the trouble spots, as opposed to doing another approach where we micro-target those trouble spots. We really double down on going after those places that are causing spread and putting all the resources into that and the rapid testing and the vaccinations and whatever you want to throw at it to really deal with the problem. I think Ontarians need to look at these graphs, they need to look at the reports and see what they're really talking about and the factors and the decision-making points that are really going into these restrictions. It is not about reducing spread per se, going after it specifically. It is about just reducing your mobility. Do you accept that approach? Do you think that is an evolved response after having a year of grappling with COVID-19? Because that's what Ontario is doing right now.